Okay, in this video we're checking out the iFlight iH2 V2, and I already did a video on the version 1 a while back, a couple months ago I think, and they made some improvements to the frame from the version 1, and as you can see here I have the version 1 frame here. Essentially the electronics are the same, so I just transferred the parts over from the version 1 frame over to the version 2 frame here, and there were some design changes as well. In the version 1 here, the way that the stack was mounted was with some nylon standoffs, in which of course not so good with the pins between the 490AC and the flight controller on the stack. So they have a single screw that goes all the way through here. They've sent over these additional TPU and silicone grommets here for vibration dampening, and that was the major change from the version 1 to the version 2. Is they improved the frame. The frame shape and everything is the same. They just increased the thickness of the plates to basically, the ultimate goal was to reduce vibration all around, vibration from the flight controller going to the flight controller, and increasing the thickness of the bottom plate here. As you can see how much of a difference it is. It was like 1.5 millimeters before, I think, on all of the plates. You can see it's very thin and it was very flexible. As you can see, very bendy, and a lot of vibrations did get into the camera, so there was a somewhat amount of jello. It wasn't terrible, but now that they made the improvements to the frame, all the jello is pretty much gone now. And one thing I did change is when I was flying the iH2 V1, I had the battery mounted on the bottom because that's where the battery strap was placed when I got it. But in the version 2, they changed the design up where the stack is flush, almost flush with the bottom plate there, as you can see. So I just copied there basically what the bind and fly would look like, and then that moved the battery strap on top, which is what that's what it looks like in the picture, and I think that's how it's going to come. So you're kind of limited on your battery size. So I have a little 2S350 LiPo here, and you can get about 2 minutes of flight, maybe 2.5 minutes of flight on that, because it's top mounted here. Obviously, if you go to a bottom mounted system, which I might change this to, you can probably go put a bigger battery underneath instead of putting it up on top, because your space is limited in this design. The one thing that did change in terms of electronics is add a capacitor here, again for more noise filtering for the video transmitter and also the split mini camera. So the video is pretty clean, you'll see that. This piece here for the antenna tubes was in the first version, but they included the antenna tubes and the little caps in the frame for version 2. It wasn't included in version 1. I did move the FreeSky receiver here into behind the stack here instead. Before it was on top of the stack, but that's where the battery strap is now. And then the last thing was the original version 1 came with the Jumpman 1940 prop, and then I think the version 2 now comes with this prop here, is the Avon Mini 2.3 inch prop from Emax, and I think it's a pretty smooth prop. You get a little bit more power. Obviously they want to boost up the power because the frame's heavier now, but the motor's the same. It's 1104 9500 kV iFlight Tachyon motor with the open bottom design. It kind of reminds me, I don't know which. It kind of reminds me of another motor. I can't put my finger on it right now. In terms of the frame difference, 1.5 millimeters on the old version, I believe. It's now 2.5 millimeters bottom plate on the version 2, and it's the shape is the same. You can see here they haven't changed the shape at all. It's everything lines up as far as I can tell. 2.5 millimeter bottom plate, 2 millimeter side plate, and 2 millimeter top plate. So you can see everything is just thicker all around. And an interesting design change they added as well, also for vibration dampening, is while the side plates for the camera are 2 millimeters, they have these cutouts here, as you can see, where now they have a TPU piece here where the camera screws in. The camera is actually now touching TPU instead of carbon for more vibration dampening. So I think that all the little design changes helped. I think jello is greatly reduced from before. It's a pretty good. Obviously, it flies pretty good, same as before as well. The frame isn't different, but obviously less vibration because you have thicker arms, more carbon, a little bit more weight, more heft, and then all this vibration dampening here for the camera and the flight controller. So overall, good improvements, but in terms of electronics, it's all pretty much the same as on the version 1, and they just swapped the props out, added a capacitor, and made the improvements to the frame. So that's largely the main difference. And then let me show you how much this thing weighs. So I don't remember exactly how much the version 1 weighed, so I'll refer you to the version 1 video. I'll put a card in the corner, link in the description. You can check it out. Pretty sure I put the weight in that video, so check out that before. Obviously, it's a lot heavier now. It's 115 grams. I believe it was under 100 grams previously with the much skimpier frame. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, so that's going to do it for my discussion of the iH2 version 2. Check out the flight footage now, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.